Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Glow by Gigi. If you're new here, welcome. Today's video is going to be me doing a full face using my most repurchased products. So that's what we're going to do today. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, let's start with lips just because this is how I prep my face. And we're going to be doing like skincare and makeup just because I'm a skincare junkie as well. So for the lips, if you haven't tried this already, the LANIEGE Glowly Balm. This stuff is amazing, especially during the winter months where your lips are like super dry, which mine are right now. So I use this to just, even before I start my makeup or skincare, I just put this on my lips. And I feel like my lips just like soak it all up. It's supposed to be slightly tinted. So this one is peach, and I do have the red one. It's like a strawberry, I think. Very nice, very basic, you know, nothing too special, but I have repurchased this over and over again. And it's just a staple for me to just slap on my lips. And even if not just for skincare, but also just during the day. I don't wear as much lipstick as I used to, especially in the winter months, just because my lips get really dry. So during the day, I have this in my purse all the time, and I just slap it on. Okay, moving on to makeup time. This was the most exciting part. So we're gonna start with brow. I'm just gonna go through like my regular routine and then show you like the products for each of the areas that I'm gonna be going through. So we're gonna start with brows. And so my most repurchased like of all time, and I keep going back to it over and over again, is the Fenty Beauty Brow MVP. This stuff is just amazing for my brows. I keep like 2 at a time in a rotation, like 2 different colors, and then I have always, and I just got them in, 2 backup, just because I can't live without this. Like even on a no makeup day, I must do my brows, and this is quick and easy. So it does have a nice fine tip. You can see it there. It's waterproof, which is amazing, so it doesn't come off if you do if you go work out or whatever, and it doesn't sweat off. And then the other, it does come with a little spoolie. And as you can see, my brows are already like micro shaded. So I do have, it does help with my outlining because I just follow the line that's already been done. So yeah, so I start by just doing the bottom, and then I'll do the outline on the top. Make sure I do the tip because that's the most important part for me, is just making sure that tip is nice and defined. So you can see where it's shaded because my hair is there and the actual shade's there. So, and then the rest I just sort of just draw in. And the most important part of all of this is the brushing. So you just keep brushing up to make sure you haven't missed anything. Okay, moving on to next product, most repurchased ever, is brow gel. So obviously every brow gel is different. I've gone through many brow gels, and I just always go back to this Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. This stuff, I mean, other brow gels are amazing too. CoverGirl, I've tried the Morphe, I've tried them all actually. I just tend to always lean towards this one and just go back to it. Not to say that I don't have those other ones in my little purse for work, just in case a brow gets out of order or something, but this one is like just the one I keep always restocking. And it just keeps my brows in place. So I always buy the clear one. I don't buy the tinted one. I have purchased the tinted ones before. I just find that they do dry out quite quickly. Maybe because of the tint they have, or because it's just more colored. It just tends to dry out and they get clumpy. So the clear one to me lasts longer, and you get more use out of it. I'll show you what it looks like if you haven't already seen it. Just typical clear, nothing special, but special to me. And just to show you that it is a restock, I always have a backup. Must have a backup brow gel. This is my staple. Like I said, if I don't do anything during the day, I will curl my lashes and put brows on. And these are my go-tos. So next, I'm actually going to talk about eyeshadow. And I know we can't really repurchase, well, I've never actually repurchased a single eyeshadow palette over and over again, but I do tend to repurchase the same brand all the time just for consistency. And if you haven't already noticed just from my other videos, I always go towards my Natasha Denona palettes. I love all of her palettes. Like I don't have them all, but I have been ever since she started like her mini versions that are not quite as expensive as her, you know, the larger ones that she had. If you've ever seen Natasha Denona's older palettes, like they're quite large, and the pans are quite larger as well. And these used to still retail for I think 170 Canadian dollars. I've usually mostly only purchased these when I have gift cards from Sephora. But this is just this is just an example of her gold palette. So nudes and golds, and they last quite a long time. I've had this one for quite some time. I think here it says that they last up to 2 years, 24 months, so which is great. So over time and over the years, I have started to get rid of a lot of my eyeshadow palettes, but I've kept all my Natasha Denona palettes. So I have her Love palette, her Sunrise palette. I do have her larger ones as well, and like I said, for these ones, they are a bit of a splurge, but I always recommend, you know, if you do get some gift cards and you want to sort of splurge a bit and not feel it as much, I'd use them to buy these palettes. And you can also wait for sales. I think even this one I got on sale when it went maybe for like $80 versus the 170. So I think it was a good deal. It's an all matte palette. This is her Safari palette. Great for like everyday use. So perfect, and if you don't want like shimmers, and I like mattes during the day. I don't really go to work with a lot of shimmer on my eye. So good one for that. Today, since we have a little maroon purplish shirt going on here, I'm just gonna go to one of her little basic colors here. Let's see here. Maybe that color, and sort of just put a wash of it on my face, and you'll just see how it looks like. We're not doing anything fancy today here with our eyes. We're really just adding a splash of color, and this is what I generally do for the day. I don't make things complicated. Ooh, that really matches my shirt. So just stamping that on. Ideally you would use another brush that's not so fluffy so it can actually stamp on, but we're not really looking at perfection here. We're really just stamping that. And see how vibrant these colors are? It really just, it makes, I find Natasha Denona shadows really, like they said, they are an investment, they are pricey, but I find them completely worth it. You do get your money's worth, and there's shadows that you don't have to make a lot of effort with. Like it's just effortless when you're applying them on your eye. They're not patchy. They blend seamlessly. You see that? Like how that's just blending. And so like you can make it more intense if you want to. So right now I'm just really gonna just blend that color out. And then I'll go with my finger and intensify the lid. Okay, so I went into my little mini Lila palette. And this is also Natasha Denona. If you don't want to start off with her bigger palettes, these are really nice ones to start off with, her little mini palettes. All of them have like all the eyeshadows you need to create a look or more. So I'm just going into that little dark purplish and just putting that in the outer corner. Okay, and let's add a little bit of shimmer, why not? We're gonna go into the same mini star palette, mini Lila palette, that little sort of bluish purplish, and we'll just put it in the middle of the lid there. And sort of stamp it on. Bluish purple. And then in one of her other palettes, she does have a mixing palettes here just to sort of get more out of it. We're gonna go into this like purplish, more of a purplish hue to it. And I'm gonna use that on the inner corner to sort of blend all the colors together. And this one's a really creamy eyeshadow. So you really just, and I'm gonna blend it into that sort of bluish color that we've put in the center. Okay, so that's basically shadows, most repurchased shadow. Okay, so next we'll go into foundation and just complexion, or my face. For primer, I don't really have a most repurchased primer. I used a lot of different primers just depending on my mood and my skin that day. You know, so I have smoothing primers, brightening primers. I think I have covered some of my primers that I've always had in some of my previous videos. I'll just show you some I have right now. But I have the Banana Bright face primer. This is really nice, also very vitamin C infused, so it goes really hand in hand with my skincare. I also use the NARS Radiance Primer. This one is a good summer primer because it does have SPF of 25, I believe. So great for protecting your skin against sun, and it also is very radiant. I repurchased this. This is probably my fourth one over the years. So we are going to use this one. And even though it has SPF, it doesn't stop you from using it. Like, just don't be afraid to use SPF products even though there's no sun. As I would know right now, because it's completely pitch black outside in Iqaluit. It has like a pink tone to it, so it does give you that sort of pinkish hue. Now, something to keep in mind is that for all my Canadians out there, the Canadian version does not have SPF, so it's just called a Radiance Primer, like sans the SPF. Look at me using French. The American one, I think for some reason, maybe it might be the FDA guidelines or whatever, we don't get the SPF version in Canada. So if you really want to try this out, you can find it on Sephora. It just won't have the SPF, so don't use it if you're trying to look for something for SPF. If not, it's a great primer to like boost the radiance regardless. Next, for foundation, I haven't really repurchased foundation over and over again. I don't go through foundation that often, but I will show you one that you've probably seen me use a lot anyway, which is the DIOR Nude Air. I'm not a big fan of full coverage foundations just because I do look for coverage in my concealer. So as you can see, I've literally just applied a super light layer of that DIOR foundation, and I'm just sort of just patting that in. So next we'll go into concealer, because this is one of the main things I use on a daily basis. I go through so many different concealers, but I always circle back to my main ones because they are my die-hard concealers. So I'll start off with my sort of medium to light coverage but really hydrating concealers, which I put underneath my eye, are my KAJA Don't Settle concealers. These are amazing. If you haven't tried them, please do. I believe KAJA is a Korean brand. I love this concealer under my eye. It doesn't crease or anything. Well, the name says don't settle, so it's not supposed to settle into your fine lines. I find that it doesn't. So, that it doesn't settle, so it's actually true to what they say. So I use two different shades. Mainly Boba Tea is my shade, is number 6. Sometimes for a little more brightening, I use number 5, which is Fortune Cookie, in like right here in the little corner. So I've gone through already, this is probably my third pair that I go through so far for the year, I think. Mind you, this is all I use. Like, I don't use foundation every day, I use this. So this is one of my holy grails. Next, I'll talk about my Tarte Shape Tape. So Shape Tape is amazing if you want full coverage. If you want your face to look flawless, like a little porcelain doll, no sort of blemishes or anything shining through, Shape Tape is what I use. So usually if I'm, a night out, if I'm doing a photo shoot, I don't know when I've done one, but if I want my face to look flawless and like hide any imperfections, and like my face can look flawless even with imperfections, but if I want no imperfections to shine through, I will go for Shape Tape. And generally the shades I like to use is a mixture of medium and light medium. So both these shades are sort of mix them up in my face. Always going with light medium underneath my eyes. I do find Shape Tape can get cakey, so I just limit how much I use it, and that's just a little suggestion. If you do use Shape Tape, to sort of be careful with how much you use, because it can give you that sort of cake face look, if you use too much. So today we'll just go in with my KAJA Don't Settle. Like I said, a little bit of Fortune Cookie in my inner corner. A little small amount. And then for the other one is Boba Tea. Boba Tea will just go put all over. And I think I'm almost out of this one actually. I start getting to like, I start wiping away like the sides. Concealer I find still lets my skin breathe, if that makes sense. It also depends on the concealer you're using. So just taking that sponge. Okay, and to start to get that sort of lifting effect, I take some of that same Boba Tea concealer and then just just paint it like in the direction of my eye, and that sort of gives me like a natural eye lift or facelift, whatever you want to call it. So you see that it does have a little bit of coverage, so I'm not sure if you could see on camera, but you could still see discoloration and like my freckles underneath. And now I don't mind that. If that concerns you, then I probably would go for something like more of a Shape Tape. If you're really trying to cover up scarring or anything that's concerning to you. I necessarily don't mind some of my freckles showing through. I'm at this point where I'm like, whatever. I used to pack on like foundation and concealer in efforts to like hide it all, and I sometimes had those feelings where like I just wanted to scratch my face off. So I don't do that anymore. My next repurchased product of all time is my Fenty Beauty Matchstix. This is in the shade Mocha. This is probably, I've owned this for so long. Well, no, I've repurchased this so many different times. This is probably a newer one. And I generally, this is my contour, my cream contour I use. And I just rub it all into the back of or the butt of my sponge and just press that in. And I prefer cream contours to powder. I find you get a little more like a natural effect with cream versus powder. That's just my opinion. Now to sort of set everything, I'm going into my next most repurchased product of all time is my CIATE London Everyday Vacay Coconut Setting Powder. I've gone through so many different setting powders throughout my life, or my makeup life. And honestly, like the most expensive ones, like, you know, I've done Laura Mercier, I've done my Too Faced, I've done Pat McGrath, I've done, what else have I done? I've done them all. I've even done La Mer. La Mer was my most expensive setting powder. I still have it actually. I go through that little by little. La Mer, but then I just keep going back to this one. It's like affordable and it does a job. Like it locks everything in. It doesn't, especially if you have oily to combination skin, it helps like keep those oils at bay. And it does have a brightening effect, as you can see. Just pack that in. I don't bake with it. I'm not a big fan of baking, but I do there's just a light and I sort of pat the excess off. And then just pat that into my under eye. And this really helps just lock in all the oils and everything, because I do tend to, I over moisturize, so this helps just sort of bring that sort of matte look back to my face. As you can see, I use it only in all the areas that I've applied concealer. I don't use it where I've put my contour because we're gonna use another powder for that. CIATE London is available on Sephora as well. I don't think this particular powder is, but it is available at my little Glow by Gigi shop. So if you're interested, let me know. You get 15 grams. This lasts forever. You don't need to use much. Like I said, just enough to sort of pat in wherever you need, and it locks it in. So moving along now, we're gonna go into the next, basically how I sort of set my face, other than my translucent powder, is my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. This stuff, like I said, I use on my eyes, I'll use on my face, I use it even to set where I put my translucent powder to sort of bring some sort of life back into the middle of my face. So I take like a nice little pointed sort of brush and just sort of press it in to like my areas here of concern. And this is just, I don't know, I feel like it has like a blurring effect, and it just helps my makeup just last longer during the day. It has a blurring effect. It also keeps oils at bay, and I'm an oily girl, so that does sometimes make things a little annoying. And this is also amazing for your eye makeup because it just helps sort of blend any sort of imperfections when you're doing your eye makeup. So as you can see, just to sort of blend the outer edges of this eye look, I'll just go back in with this on a fluffy brush and just pack it a little bit, taking the excess off and sort of just blend that in. And that just, to me, it helps sort of blend all the colors in into like my own skin tone. Because medium is my shade that I would say is closest to my skin tone. So it just makes it a little more seamless versus just like harsh lines, and I'm not a big fan of harsh line. So you see at the end here, there's a little bit of harshness going on. I'm just going to sort of blend that, and that way it sort of blends out into this powder. I think it's just a great powder overall. It's a really good multi-use powder. As you can see, I've hit pan, but you know, your girl's is never unprepared. I have always backups for everything that I love, because I cannot stand running out of things and not having, you know, these are your holy grail products, right? So when you don't have them, it's like you feel like your makeup is not the potential it can be. Okay, we're almost there. So I just quickly finished off my eye look. I still have to go through mascara, but I just wanted to cover that first. But before we go into that, I did want to show you my next most repurchased product, and you guys are probably already know. This is a holy grail probably in any makeup artist's collection. It is MAC Fix Plus. This is their Prep&Prime spray. This is great to just sort of when your face is feeling like, you know, after you've put all your makeup on and you just want sort of that freshness. It's also good to prime as well. I just like to spray it on once I've got most of my powders all down and everything. It's just to sort of meld everything together. I always love spraying this on my clients as well. So I'm just gonna, I do cover my eyes because I don't like any of the droplets sort of ruining my eye look. It's like a drink of water for your face. And it's water you can actually spray, well, it's not water, but like it's like liquid you can actually spray in your face and not worry about your makeup just melting off. Instantly refresh. It's just really awesome. I love it. It's just amazing. My hair's a mess, so don't, like, just ignore it. It's supposed to be a skin refresher and finishing mist. So if you don't have this in your collection, it's a must-have in mine. I love this. I always take one when I'm traveling. It's a must-have for me. And even when you're just not even wearing makeup, just to refresh your skin, like especially traveling on an airplane, not that we're doing much of that these days, but I used to just bring one in my little bag or my carry-on and just sort of spritz it in the airplane or something like that as soon as I land, just to refresh my skin, because you get so parched from just just the dryness in the air. So let's finish off with some mascara, then maybe a little bit of blush, and we're pretty much done. This is like my third tube of the Gucci mascara. This is like one of those things. I can't leave the house without mascara. That was one of the things. So it's like brows and mascara. So brows have to be done and mascara has to be laid on these lashes, because if not, I will not look put together. So I recently discovered this summer, I think it was probably early this summer, the Gucci L'Obscure mascara, and this has been a total game changer. If you haven't tried this mascara, and I wouldn't say it's a purchase of all time because it's a relatively new item in my collection. Before this, I was using the DIOR 3D Maximizer Lash Primer and the DIOR mascara, which are also very, very nice mascaras, and they really, you know, sort of high-end. I do splurge on mascara because it's one of those staples I use every day. I do not leave the house, like I said, without mascara. So, in the rare occasion that I do, but like mascara is one of my daily things. And because I go through it so often, I don't mind, well actually probably I shouldn't splurge because I go through it so often. But I see the benefit of like, you know, investing in a good mascara, just because, you know. And not saying that you have to go, you know, buy a Gucci mascara. Another really good affordable mascara that I do tend to use, and it's always in my bag when I want to like touch up, is Maybelline Falsies mascara. This one is a nice affordable option for everyday mascara. It does have that nice volume effect, but you know, since we are here and I've got time and I want to feel a little extra, we'll go in my Gucci mascara. The reason why I love this one is that it separates lashes that I've seen no other mascara do. It doesn't clump up like most, and I want to see if I can zoom do it with the mirror, but this one's almost done, so it is a little more clumpier than most. But I just love how it just and it just gives that sort of lift. And mind you, I have thin lashes, so my lashes aren't really thick, but this does help in volumizing some of them, because it separates each lash, so it gives that sort of illusion that you have more lashes than you do. So the more layers you add, like, you know, you can get a little more dramatic. This is nice also because it does go nicely on the bottom lashes. You don't need a separate mascara. Okay, and just if you could look at the difference, you see how instantly like that just opens up my eye. Perfect. So there's mascara on both eyes. I love this mascara also because it doesn't make me feel like I need falsies. I mean, falsies would be nice if I'm going out and I want a really like dramatic eye, but I think it's just a perfect little compliment. So just a peek of how this mascara looks like, you know, you have a nice, it's a beautifully like packaged mascara. It has such a, it's heavy, so the lid itself feels like you actually have like a gold, you know, a little applicator handle thing. And then the wand itself, very thin and small little bristles, or like micro bristles. So that's what really helps your lashes sort of, you know, separate each and every one of them. Really nice. Formula's great. I don't find it clumps or anything. It doesn't flake, which I hate when mascaras do. So really good mascara. If you don't have it in your collection and you do want to splurge. Okay, last but not least, we're just gonna finish off with lips. Now, like I said, I don't do much for lips in my, like, recently anymore. My hair is like a mess. I usually just put gloss on. But generally, just because I hate when foundation sort of removes like the outline of my lips, I'll always go in with a lip liner. So I'll just share some of my all-time favorite lip liners that I must have in my collection at any given time. Is the MAC Cosmetics lip liner in Stripdown. This is everything. Like, this is like the perfect nude. And then the Charlotte Tilbury lip cheat in the shade Iconic Nude. I love this shade. It's an iconic nude. It's like the name says it all. It's really nice to just ensure your lips are outlined and they look nice and juicy and plump. So what I do is just outline them to ensure my lip line is still present. I wouldn't say I'm like a lipstick junkie, like in terms of actual, like, you know, stick lipsticks. I'm not a big fan just because they tend to rub off during the day, and I do eat a lot. Like, I always snack. I'm always snacking or drinking water or drinking juice and all those things. So I find that lipstick for me tends to just wipe off, and I'm not a big fan of that. So I always enjoy just having a liquid lipstick in my collection. Or in rotation at any given time. So my all-time favorite lipsticks are right here. And they're the Huda Beauty liquid matte lipsticks. To me, these by far have been my favorite formulas of all the liquid lipsticks I've tried. I mean, I've tried these ones actually and the Fenty Beauty ones, but Fenty Beauty doesn't have as many colors. If you haven't tried any of the Huda Beauty liquid mattes, we're gonna try Wifey. There are a lot of, like, I found they're very nude type shades, so very good for like every day. I find these ones you can really just get away with using every single day, and you know, it's just a perfect combo for a really, like, when you want the focus to be in your eyes and you just want a really basic nude lip. Not basic, but perfectly basic. So this is a beautiful nude. And just putting it on the center of my lips. And remember, when you're using any sort of liquid lipstick, to always make sure that your lips are hydrated. If you put a liquid lipstick on dry lips, it's like the worst combination ever. So just have all that, you know, if you have cracked lips especially, like all the color is just gonna get all in your cracks. So good to just exfoliate your lips, moisturize, and then put these on. So just take off any excess. These do dry down matte, so that's where a gloss comes in. So if you want more of that glossy effect, I do like to top it off with a little bit of the Fenty Beauty gloss bombs. These are like the perfect wash of color on a gloss that you can just slap on your lips and just make your lips look super juicy. And last product I'm going to talk about today and to end off this super long video is my setting mist. Top most repurchased of all time setting mist has to be my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist and my Urban Decay All Nighter Spray. So these two babies are a must in my collection. I always carry them both. I'm traveling, I just need to have both of them at any given time. Reason being is that I do use the Continuous Setting Spray from Morphe for day to day, like every single day, for work or for just daytime, and then for my evening looks, or if I know my day is going to be a little more stressful or running around more, I'll go in with my all-nighter Urban Decay all-nighter spray, just because this stuff really locks you in. I like the mist on this one, so that's why I don't ever get this one up, and it does set my face all day. I don't get cakey or anything, and it's just a perfect setting mist. So we're gonna set our face. It's just perfection. And I just don't, like, it's just perfect. It's like the perfect mist for you to feel locked in for the day. So these two babies must have in your collections. If you need to know if like you want to purchase them, you've never tried them, I'd highly recommend both. There you have it. So this is basically the look we created with my top most repurchased products and my top favorite products of all time, the ones I really stock up on every single time when there's a VIB Rouge sale or from Sephora, or if anything goes on sale. Like the products I mentioned to you today are the ones that are always in my rotation at any given time. They're my must-haves. So let me know if any of the products I mentioned were your must-haves. I'd love to know. I'd love to know if we're both in the same vibes. If you have any other products that are your must-haves that I didn't mention today, please let me know. I'd love to try out new ones. Like I'm always looking to try out new products anyway, so you know, it's the nature of us makeup junkies, so we always like to know what's out there. Thank you, Glow Beauties, for supporting my channel as always. Love you guys so much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button down below, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and join my Glow Beauty community. See you guys next time. Bye.